Hi guys, this is another video by Darklink Does Math. The content of this video is geared towards 6th grade math standards. These videos are public so that my students may access this information easily, as well as anyone else looking for math help. I hope you find this video helpful. If you do not, I hope you can find what you're looking for elsewhere. There's a lot of information out there. Be aware that I'm not perfect, so there may be the occasional mistake. I apologize in advance if this should happen. So today we're going over 7.2 notes, evaluating algebraic expressions, specifically how to solve an algebraic expression and get an answer when you are given the value of the variable. Our first vocab term is evaluate. Evaluate means to solve or to find the value. In other words, your answer. It could also mean to get one number. One answer. All right, our second vocab term, substitute. So in order to evaluate or to solve or find your answer, you need to substitute, meaning you need to replace the variable or variables, there could be more than one, with a number. It's important to note that you can't just replace the variable with whatever number you want. You're not actually going to solve an equation and figure out what the letter is. The instructions will give you or tell you what the variable equals, and you're going to use that given number to find your answer. We're going to go through examples of that. So, algebraic expressions can be evaluated for given values of the variable, meaning you're going to be given what the variable is equal to, and you can then solve it or evaluate it. So our first example, we're going to actually write an algebraic expression, and then we're going to evaluate it with a given value. So in our example, it says, there are n apples in each box. What does that mean? It means we don't know how many apples are in the box. We didn't count. So an unknown. Part A, we're going to write an expression in terms of n for each statement. And part B, we're going to evaluate the expression when n equals 24. It's important that you do this first and then this second. Do not start off with substituting n for 24 or 24 for n. You don't know that yet. Do part A first. So, our first statement, the number of apples left in a box after 6 apples have been eaten. So, we're going to think, we have a box, there are n apples in it, meaning we don't know how many apples, it's unknown, so that's why we're using a variable for it. What are we going to do? We're going to take 6 apples from it. So take away 6. What does that mean? Well, that means minus 6. So for our expression, we start with the number of apples n. We're going to take away 6 through subtraction. And I would ask myself, are these like terms? Are they like each other? No, one's a letter, one's a number. I can't combine them. I can't do anything with them. So what is n minus 6? It is simply n minus 6. So we're ready to write our answer. For part A, we're going to write our expression. What's the number of apples left in the box after 6 have been eaten? We're going to say there are n minus 6 apples. And because I have more than one term, I'm going to put that in parentheses before writing my label. So that's our first answer. That's our algebraic expression. It's in terms of n. That means I'm using n as my variable. Now I get to do part B. Part B says evaluate the expression when n equals 24. So we are now told how many apples is in the box. We are told what n is. So we're going to evaluate when n equals 24. First step, we start with our expression that we came up with. This is how many apples there are after you eat 6 of them. Next step, we substitute, meaning we will replace the variable or variables with the given value. So we're going to swap out the n with a 24. We write everything else as we saw it, and then we follow the order of operations and solve step by step. So do one step at a time. So 24, take away 6, there's only one step there. I get 18. So this means if there are 24 apples in the box and you eat 6, then you would have 18. Remember, variables could change depending on the type of question. So think of this as instructions on how to find how many apples are in the box after you eat 6. So in other words, you start with the total and take away 6, and you would get your answer. So our answer for part B, we've evaluated it. We got 18. So we're going to say there are 18 apples. So our expression tells us how to get the answer when we get the information we need. All right, next statement. Part A, we need to write an algebraic expression in terms of n. All right, the number of apples each child gets when a whole box of apples is shared equally among 4 children. So I basically want to know, how many apples does each child get? Well, sharing equally means you're going to divide, and we're going to think, how many apples do I start with? Well, in our story, there are n apples in each box. So I have a whole box of apples. It has n apples in it, meaning we don't know how many. We'll just have to accept that. We're going to share them, meaning we're going to split them, divide them, cut them up between 4 children. So we're going to divide by 4. So what would I write? Well, we have n apples. We're going to divide by 4. So we have n divided by 4. I could leave it like that or write it as a fraction. N divided by 4 like that. And that's how we're going to that's what we're going to actually use for our answer. So part A answer, what's our algebraic expression for this on how many each child gets? We're going to say each child gets n divided by 4 apples. Because I only have one term, I do not need to put that in parentheses. So again, this is like instructions on how to figure out how many apples each child would get if there are 4 children. You simply take your total number of apples and divide by 4. Part B, we're going to evaluate when n equals 24. So it's kind of like pretend. Let's pretend there are 24 apples. So first step, you write down your expression, which was n over 4, or n divided by 4. Second step, you substitute or replace your variable or variables with the number given. So they're telling you that, oh, there are 24 apples. We're going to, again, divide by 4. Third step, start solving step by step. There's only one step on this. 24 divided by 4, which gives you 6. So we are saying that if there are 24 apples in the box and you divide them among 4 children, you're going to get 6. So part B answer, how many apples do each child get? Each child gets 6 apples. So our expression is when we don't know our information, it kind of tells us how to get our answer when we know all the information. All right, we're going to move into practice problems of evaluating expressions. I've kind of already addressed what the steps are, but I'm going to go over them again. So the steps for evaluating expressions. are: first step, write your problem or write your expression. Second step, you're going to substitute, that means replace, all variables with the number given. Third step, you're going to solve following order of operations. Remember, you can't solve questions in any order you want. You have to follow the order of operations, meaning parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, addition or subtraction, in that order. All right, first problem. We're going to evaluate x plus 12 when x equals 5. So first step, you write your problem, which is x plus 12. So we're saying we're basically going to take something and add 12 to it. Second step, replace your variable or variables with the number given. So x is 5. So anytime you see an x, replace it with a 5. I only see one of them, so I only need to replace one of them. Next step, we get to start solving step by step, doing one thing at a time. There's only one step, so I only need to do one thing. 5 plus 12 is 17. So x plus 12 when x equals 5, your answer is going to be 17. Number 2, evaluate 16 minus y when y equals 9. So first step, write your problem, 16 minus y. Second step, substitute all your y's with 9. So 16 minus, oh, there's a y. We're going to replace it with a 9. Third step, start solving. Again, this only has one step, so no need to really follow the order of operations. There's only one thing you can possibly do. 16 minus 9, you're going to get 7. So 7 is your answer. Next problem. We're going to evaluate 3z, that's not 32, 3z plus 12 when z equals 2. So first step, write your problem. 3z, we're going to add 12. All right, now let's think about what this means right here before we continue. When you put a letter up the backside of a number, like right next to each other, that means multiplication. So what does that mean? That means whenever I replace z with 2, it's not going to be 32. It's going to be 3 times 2 because that letter is right next to that number, and that means multiply. So I need to keep that in mind when replacing my letters. So let's substitute z with 2. So 3, I see the z, I'm going to replace it with a 2. I'm going to go ahead and write parentheses as my multiplication sign. You can use a dot. You can use other methods. All right, plus my 12. Third step, start solving. Again, using parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, addition or subtraction in that order. First, second, third, and fourth. Repeat or start back at step 1 as many times as necessary. So first step, are there any parentheses? No, there's nothing inside of parentheses I can do. That's just a 2. There's nothing to do with it. Second step, exponents. No exponents. Third step, I have multiplication. So the third step is to multiply or divide whatever you see first. So I see multiply first. So I'm going to do that and only that. 3 times 2 is 6. Bring down your plus, bring down your 12. I know it's tempting. You just want to add the 12 in there and be done with it. No. Step by step. All right, let's start over. Do I have parentheses? No. Exponents? No. Multiply or divide? No. Addition or subtraction? Yes, I have addition. Let's do it. 6 plus 12, 18. So 18 is our answer. Why should you show all your steps? Well, this is just 6th grade math. When you get into 7th, 8th, 9th, and higher, your problems are going to be much, much larger. If you don't start showing your steps now, you're going to be lost. That's really on you. Okay, next example. 12 minus 3z when z equals 2. Apparently, z loves to be 2. All right, first step, write down your problem. 12 take away 3z. Again, because that z is right next to that number, that means multiply. 3 times whatever z is. So, second step, substitute. 12 minus 3 times, well, z is 2. I'll write this different this time. So instead of using parentheses, I'll write the multiplication dot. So 12 minus 3 times 2. All right, order of operations. State, parentheses are first, I don't have any. Second, exponents, don't have any. Third step, multiply or divide. I see multiplication. You must do 3 times 2 first. Don't do 12 minus 3. You have to do 3 times 2, which is 6. Bring down your 12, bring down your subtraction sign. There's only one step left because there's no parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, addition, but there's one subtraction problem. 12 minus 6 is 6. So our answer is 6. Fifth example, evaluate w over 4 minus 4 when w equals 20. First step, write down your problem. So w divided by 4 minus 4. Second step, replace or substitute all variables with 20. So w is 20, so we're going to write 20 over 4 minus 4. Next step, improper fraction, so divide. 20 divided by 4. My recommendation is when writing fractions or dealing with fractions, if the fraction does not come out nicely, we'd leave it as a fraction and simply type it in a calculator. But this one comes out nice. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. Now we're going to bring down our minus 4. We only have one more step. 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. So 1 is our answer. All right. We're going to increase the size and complexity. All right. It says evaluate x plus 1 divided by 2 plus 5x minus 3 divided by 10 when x equals 5. First step, write down your problem. So x plus 1 divided by 2 plus 5x minus 3 divided by 10. Second step, substitute all your x's with 5. If it helps, cover up piece by piece so it's not overwhelming. So I have x plus 1 over 2. That's going to become 5 plus 1 over 2. Move on, plus. Now we have 5x minus 3 over 10. Remember, that letter is right next to a number. That means multiply. So our letter was 5. So we're going to do 5 times 5 minus 3 over 10. So again, we just substituted all the x's with 5. Next step, start solving. Okay, what I would recommend when you have large fractions like this, again, cover up and do one step at a time on one thing each. So on this, 5 plus 1 over 2, I'm only going to do one thing. My goal is to get one number over one number. So on top, I only have one thing, 5 plus 1. So 5 plus 1 is 6. So I'm going to write 6 over 2. I did one step. I have a plus sign, bring it down. Now I get to move to this side. there are multiple steps on this. I have 5 times 5 minus 3 over 10. What do I do first? Well, there are no parentheses. There's no exponents. Multiplication or division, I see multiplication, 5 times 5. Do it and only it. So 5 times 5 is 25. Bring down your minus 3. Bring down your fraction bar. Bring down your 10. So notice a little bit smaller, just a bit. All right, next step. Again, focus on one thing at a time. All right, 6 divided by 2. Can I do that easily? If yes, do it. If not, leave it as a fraction. Well, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we'll go ahead and do it. Bring down your plus sign. All right, let's focus on this side. One step at a time. So 25 minus 3. Well, there's only one step. 25 minus 3 is 22. Bring down your over 10. Notice numbers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller and nicer and nicer. All right, next. I have addition and division. So technically we should do 22 divided by 10, but that's not going to be as nice. So what are we going to do? We're going to leave this as a fraction and treat this as a plain old addition problem. 3 plus 22 tenths. So I'm going to use our resource here, this nice calculator. So we're going to do 3 plus 22 tenths. And for this type of calculator, the ABC button is your fraction bar. So 3 plus 22 tenths, we get 5 and 1/5. So 5 and 1/5 is your answer, which is also the same as 5.2, which would also be acceptable. All right, next example. We have 2 more. And I tried to come up with even more complicated ones because, why not? All right, so our question says evaluate 5 times x plus 2 plus 2 times 6 minus x plus 2x plus 3 divided by 3 when x equals 6. First step, you write down your problem, but that's a lot, so I'm not going to do that. We're just going to skip to step 2, which is substitute or replace all your variables with your number given, x equals 6. So 5, parentheses, 6 plus 2, plus 2, parentheses, 6 minus 6, plus, remember 2x, that means 2 times whatever x is, so that would be 2 times 6 plus 3, and don't forget all of that is over 3. So first step, just simply replace. All right, next step. This is where we don't want to get overwhelmed. So again, think of this as 3 separate problems. Follow the order of operations, but do one thing at a time. So first, 5 times 6 plus 2. Do I see parentheses? Yes, there's stuff inside to do. So you have to do 6 plus 2 first. 6 plus 2 is 8. So that's going to turn into 5 times 8. All right, let's move on. Plus, now I have the middle section. We have 2 times 6 minus 6. First step, parentheses. Are there any? Yes. So do parentheses first. 6 minus 6 is 0. Bring down your 2. I know it's tempting. You're like, well, it's 2 times 0. Can I just write 0? No, you really should just do one step at a time. And then by the time you're super practiced in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, you'll be able to make some shortcuts. Next, bring down your plus. I have 2 times 6 plus 3 divided by 3. Again, ignore everything else. Do one thing. So, are there parentheses? No. Are there exponents? No. Is there multiplication or division? Yes, multiplication. 2 times 6. You must do and only do 2 times 6, which is 12. Bring down your plus 3. Bring down your over 3. Start over. Go through each one one at a time. 5 times 8, there's only one thing to do. So 5 times 8 is 40. Bring down your plus. All right, next, 2 times 0, 0. Next, bring down your plus. Now we have the 12 plus 3 over 3. Do one step. 12 plus 3 is 15. Put it, or bring down your over 3. All right, next, we have addition and division. Can this be done easily? Yes, 15 divided by 3 can be. So I'm going to bring down the 40, bring down the plus, bring down the 0, plus 15 divided by 3 is 5. All right, I just have addition, all addition, so I can do it all at once. What is 40 plus 0 plus 5? That would be 45. So 45 is our answer. Last one. We have evaluate 10 times x minus 2x plus 2x divided by 10 plus 6x minus 2 divided by 10. X is 2. So we're going to jump to the second step and start evaluating immediately. All right, so we have 10, parentheses, 8 minus, this means 2 times x. X is 2, so that would be 2 times 2 plus, again, 2x, that means 2 times whatever x is, so 2 times 2 over 10 plus, all right, 6 times x minus 2. So we're going to do 6 times 2 minus 2 all over 10. Again, 6x, when you replace the x with 2, that's not going to be 62. It's going to be 6 times 2. Anytime you put a letter right next to a number, it means multiply. All right, next, start solving one piece at a time, one step at a time using order of operations. So first step, parentheses. Are there any? Yes. But now I have two steps. 8 minus 2 times 2. What do I do first? Well, are there any exponents? No. Is there multiplication or division? Yes, you must do the multiplication first. So 2 times 2 only, 4. Bring down your 10, bring down your 8, bring down your minus. One step. Promise, it'll be easier. All right, bring down your plus. Not to mention, your math teacher probably won't give you credit if you don't show all your work. All right, 2 times 2, only one step, so that's 4. Bring down your over 10. Bring down your plus. Last step. 6 times 2 minus 2 divided by 10. No parentheses, no exponents. There's multiplication or division. I see the multiplication first. So 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Bring down your minus 2. Bring down your over 10. One step at a time. All right. Back to the beginning. 10 times 8 minus 4. Are there parentheses? Yep, there are still parentheses, so you must do it first. 8 minus 4 is 4. Bring down your 10. So now I'm left with 10 times 4. Plus 4 over 10. Can I divide that easily? No. So I'm just going to leave that, 4 over 10. Plus 12 minus 2 divided by 10. So work on the top. There's only one step. 12 minus 2 is 10. Bring down your over 10. I know it's tempting. 10 divided by 10 is 1. Don't do it. Don't write it. Go step by step. All right. 10 times 4, 40. Bring down your plus sign. 4/10. You can't divide that easily. Just leave it as 4/10. Plus 10 divided by 10. Can I do that easily? Yes, 1. So now I have a straight up addition problem. 40 plus 4/10 plus 1. So I could do that in my head. Just going to show you how you would type that in a calculator in case you have this style and you're needing assistance with that. Really, I would recommend doing this in your head because, 40 plus 1 is 41. So you'd have 41 and 4/10. Simplify it by dividing by 2. on your numerator and denominator. But anyways, 40 plus, to do 4 tenths, I would do 4 ABC 10 plus 1. And you get 41 and 2/5. Sometimes the calculator is not faster. Sometimes doing it mentally can be faster. So again, 41 and 2/5. Or if you were to do that as a decimal, it would be 41.4. We're just going to stick with a fraction because that's what we got. All right, I hope this has helped with understanding how to evaluate algebraic expressions when given what the variable is equal to. If it has not, I hope you find what you're looking for elsewhere. I hope you all have a great day.